Okay, we will go ahead and call the meeting to order, and we'll start with roll call.
Cox,
Here.
Crampton,
Here.
Griswold,
Here.
Markier,
Here.
Johnson,
Here.
Slavin,
Here.
Robertson.
Here.
Okay, if everybody would stand, we can say the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. I would like to start off by wishing everybody a Happy New Year. Welcome back. Look forward to working with everybody this year. Attorney Pellin will not be here tonight, just so everybody knows. Yeah, something come up at the last minute. So we will move on to the approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda?
Seconded?
Markier,
Yes.
Robertson,
Yes.
Griswold,
Yes.
Slavin,
Yes.
Cox,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Crampton.
Yes.
Alrighty. Move on to public discussion for items not on the agenda. Is there anybody? We have one. Go ahead and step on up, ma'am, to the podium. And as stated, name and address, please. Thank you.
Christine Yanka Laura, 21823 Roosevelt. The reason why I'm here is I'm just not to complain, but mostly to understand. I had brought up this issue about the problems being rodents in the city. That's happened 3 years ago, so it's not something that's been ongoing. So I'm saying that it's something that has changed in the city. And what I'm not understanding is that I haven't heard anything else about it or even been asked anything more about it. And what is disturbing is that we've had all this discussion on chicken coops, which I know that's been discussed at council meetings. We had an 1.5-hour workshop about it. And here we have a problem already. The problem came to you because somebody complained about the smell of chicken coops. And we had people who own chicken coops have admitted that they do attract rodents if you don't put the feed into metal containers, not plastic containers. They actually said that there's noise from them all day long. We already are a city with a lot of noises from the trains, the freeway, the gravel trucks. I can hear the train signals that are at Lamont and Huron River Drive when there's a train across there. But I mean, why are we gonna even thinking of adding more noise that we always have to live with as it is? They also said that they are diseased birds, that the bird does not, or the chicken does not let them know that they're diseased, and it's nothing, she said, it's nothing for them to go out there and find a dead chicken. I would hope that in your ordinance that you're putting in there how they're getting rid of these dead chickens. I mean, I assume they're not buried in the backyard, or do what you do with your own pets and not throw them into the dumpsters to let them sit there and, drag in other stuff. And also, the reason why some people wanted chicken coops is to have eggs. Well, that's when the eggs were $8 a dozen. I'm getting coupons from Kroger's for free eggs, for $2.19 I paid during the Christmas season, when there's influx of buying eggs for baking and all that. And the reason why the eggs were that expensive, so we know, is because 20 million chickens had to be euthanized because they were diseased. I mean, they're very disease prone. Also, we know that they smell, because that's how this all came about. And even if there's a state law that says that we have to have chicken coops in your city, there was a law that was passed to have marijuana legal, and somebody wanted to come in and have dispensaries in Rockwood, but we put it to the vote of the people, and they said, no, we don't want them. And we have an ordinance that restricts pretty much where they go, they can't be residential, be close to, schools and stuff like that. And we don't have any dispensaries in Rockwood because the people said we don't want them. I'm just wondering why we don't ask the people about chicken coops. HOAs, I found out that their rules, if their rules are more restricted, that they can override any city or state allowance for chickens. So that's another issue, that if you allow them in the city, then they should be allowed in all the communities, even in HOAs. So my question is to you, what are the pros of having chicken coops in Rockwood? I mean, we're already losing businesses. I mean, I know that's not anything that you can control with Rite Aid leaving, that's corporate. Save-A-Lot is closed, the pet store is closed. I mean, we're just kind of there's a business where there's awning that's just flying in the breeze and stuff like that. I mean, what is the draw about these chicken coops that are going to make Rockwood better?
So we did open this up to the people. That's why we had a whole workshop and had invited everybody to come talk about this. And we are opening up to the people.
But how did you open up to the people to know to come to the workshop?
We've posted it everywhere, all over social media. We've had several people at the meetings say come. We've mentioned it several
And
times
how
on
many people
Facebook.
are on social media and Facebook?
I
How
can't.
is
We
your
can. I
elderly-
can't control that.
Right.
And we have live TV. We have Facebook. We have many different avenues. I understand that you oppose the idea of chickens. Like any issue in society, there's people on the left and people on the right. On any issue, they oppose some. There's going to be people on either side of each
But let me
issue. That's
know
why
what
we sit here and civilly talk about issues and discuss what people want.
But you're not giving me any of the pros, so I can understand. Oh, that's why you want chicken coops.
I don't care either way. This is coming to the council. It's brought to the council for the council to decide, for the people to decide. You can ask the council. I mean, there's people that came here and said they want them. There's people that said they don't want them. But us as a council are the problem solvers for the city, and we have to make a decision as to whether we want it to vote for this or not. And that's what we're waiting on. We're waiting on the attorney to draft an ordinance with several restrictions, like we went over at the last meeting, to decide what best fits the city and whether we want that in the city. And then it can be voted on.
By the people or by you?
Well, the people don't vote on that, Judy. That's why you voted us up here to vote on that.
But you still haven't given me any reason why a chicken coop is good.
I'm not a chicken owner. I don't know why it's good. You said we have a rodent problem. I'm not aware of any rodent problem in this city. Not one has been brought to City Hall. Not one.
I did. I brought it to the workshop.
You said you had rodents, or you had.
We had a rodent problem. In
You
the
said you
city.
had those little whatever they're
Voles.
called, voles.
I
They're
have
in
them.
every
My
city.
neighbor
They're
has
in
them.
every city in Downriver. I've seen them all over the
But
place.
why in the last 3 years?
I don't think that's a problem. I think that's like deer and every other wildlife in Downriver. It's an animal that goes all over Downriver. I mean, I wouldn't call it a problem. I would call it animals living in jurisdictions.
Right. Okay.
I mean, and that's why you're here. You're here to voice your concerns. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we're here to try to muddle through this and solve it and see what we can come up with. I mean, do you
Well, I
have
just say
anything to
that-
add, anybody? Go ahead.
I was just going to say is that one thing that kind of stuck out to me is that I did not see very many people who are residents come here to speak either way. The workshop, that two of the people who came here weren't even from Rockwood. We had somebody who was it Riverview where she was,
Yeah.
and then she just came by.
Taylor.
Yeah, and then we had somebody from Taylor, who wasn't even here to voice an opinion, but just wanted to learn, because apparently that is the situation where to try to find out what people actually think on the issue is a little bit like pulling teeth. It's kind of hard to get, because thankful you have come up here to give us your voice, because
I'm just
I don't
reiterating
hear.
what she was saying
Yeah.
to you all.
Yeah, we
These are
had
the
somebody who
problems.
was very vocal in support, but was predictably so because she had chickens, so was kind of a go figure. I'd be really shocked if somebody who was raising, 19 chickens would come up here and said that, oh yeah, chickens are you shouldn't allow chickens.
Yeah, right.
Although, actually, I guess my mother, who has had almost 100 chickens at one point on a farm, might say something like that.
I mean, I've been here for 2 years, and every time we've had a you can call it a major issue. I'd like to move on from this issue and tackle bigger issues in this city, but I've always sat up here and said, please come to these meetings. Please come tell me your thoughts. I've said that many times at these meetings, but you see that we don't get a lot of participation from the residents here. I try to tell everybody, come to these meetings. That's not, I can't help that people won't come out to these meetings. If the residents don't want to come, I can't force them to come here
I know,
and
and
say
that's,
that, you
and
know?
that was the same problem when I was on council
Sure,
for
you know.
14 years. But
Right.
I always voted for what was best for the
Yeah.
We
majority
try to do what's best, right?
and
we've-
not the minority that,
Right.
wanted to have it.
Sure.
If I can say a few things. First of all, thank you, Mayor Cox, for allowing us to speak during this time. Typically, council doesn't speak during this time. It's just for you to voice your concerns. So thank you for giving us permission to talk. I just wanted to touch on one thing that you said, what is the good about chickens? And I agree with the mayor when you say it's not up to us to decide whether someone would prefer a chicken or not. Some people had said they enjoy their company, they enjoy, their personalities, just like a dog or a cat. I can't come up here and say, well, what's so great about a cat? That's not what we do here. Is determine what someone should like or what they shouldn't like. What we do here is make the ordinances that keep the city safe. And so, I think the other issue I wanted to talk about that you mentioned with the eggs. Some people can't afford $2 eggs or $2.19 eggs. So again, we can't regulate, well, because the price of eggs have dropped, you don't need eggs, or you shouldn't want to produce your own eggs. That's not up to us to decide, if that makes sense.
Well, it makes sense, but what if I want fresh milk in the morning? Could I have a cow?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah.
Right. Or, I like those little mini goats for therapy, does that mean, are we opening up the door for further?
Well, I mean, you can what if this situation all the way up to space. I mean, we're not,
Right.
but to go back to what Marcy says about the safety issue, that goes back to why we're here too. If people are going to have chickens, then it's our duty to make sure we're going to do it safely in this city. As you mentioned, disease, we're going to make sure that this stuff is in cans, and we're going to make sure that they're not going to get out, and we're going to make sure there's barriers in place so they don't people aren't going to be the runoffs that we talked about. The chickens aren't going to get out of the yards and things like that. We're going to make sure there's parameters in place that the community is going to be safe, and that's why we're here, to make sure it's a safe community.
Right. Right. And I know you're talking about possibly an ordinance officer, and my best friend is an ordinance officer for a very large city, and even then, it's still complaint driven. So having an ordinance officer isn't going to be like a golden ticket or something like that.
No.
They'll regulate it more, but it's still going to be complaint driven by neighbors complaining about neighbors.
And that's with anything. That's with
Right.
police officers speeding.
Right.
It's a complaint driven. I mean, it's a lot of things are like that.
Right.
But having an ordinance officer also allows you to take specific days out of your schedule and specifically drive around the city, specifically looking for stuff too. So there's proactive work to be done.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Get off the chickens. You mentioned the rodents. What would be your interest? What would you want us to do? Poison them? Spend money on poisoning them?
Well, I want to find out why are we having this issue in the last few years? All of a sudden, we have this influx
You're just
of
interested in the cause.
rodents.
You're not interested in doing something.
Exactly. All right. I'm taking care of them and trapping them and stuff like that. But it's happening on my neighbor, 2 other neighbors. All of a sudden, something has changed that they're there's an influx of them. I don't know if it's from the plight from some of the houses. Not gonna say where or anything like that, but there's other houses that are, beginning to become little mini plights.
So you don't have any idea what we should do, or what you think we should do about it?
I'm not an expert on why rodents all of a sudden have an influx in the city. I wouldn't be the expert to say that. But there is no way of getting rid of them other than by trapping.
Trapping or
And,
poisons?
and when I don't use a poison, I use organic. So they don't like essential oils. I become a bull. So, I'll be on that committee.
Well, we appreciate you coming up and expressing your views.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yep.
We've made a lot of hay over this issue.
And I'm done.
Did I-
I'm done with chickens.
If I've drawn one thing about it, I wonder if it's even particularly important to most of the residents, or they just don't care one way or the other.
Well, again, we don't have a lot in the audience.
Yeah, and unless somebody
I don't know.
comes up and
So,
tells us.
is there anybody else in the audience for public discussion for items not on the agenda? I don't see any other hands, so we'll move on for public discussion for items on the agenda. See no hands again, so we will move on to the action agenda.
Motion to support the action agenda.
Seconded.
Griswold,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Robertson,
Yes.
Slavin,
Yes.
Cox,
Yes.
Merker,
Yes.
Crampton.
Yes.
Okay, and we will move on to the reports from the city officials, and we will start with the police department with Chief Kraus, who will stay 10 feet away from us.
Stay a little way away from me. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Happy New Year. I have no formal report tonight, but I'm available if you have any questions. There's one public service announcement with the warm weathers and the rain. Please stay off the ice. It is no longer safe. We don't want to have to come out and rescue you no more than you want to be rescued.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Fire department, Chief Mercer.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I also have nothing formal. Just a quick update on Goodfellows. We did finish it up. I want to thank Savvy Salon. They donated $1,700 from their fundraiser that they had. So thank the entire crew there and all the customers that helped out with that. So our final totals were 40 families, 114 people, and 52 kids.
Nice.
I'd like
Nice.
to
Good job.
personally thank the owner of Savvy Salon and Savvy Salon. Thank you so much.
So that's all I have. Unless there's anything else, you have questions on?
All right, thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We don't have a treasurer's report. We will move on to the clerk's report. Do you have anything?
I do.
Okay.
Today we had an audit on our election and we got 100%.
It's from the state, correct?
Yes.
State came down.
So it's, I thank you again for letting me get support from Brownstown because we wouldn't have been able to do that without them, so I appreciate that very much.
I would thank Brownstown, but I'd like to thank Terry also.
Yes.
Thank
job,
Vicky.
Terry.
Vicky, I know everybody chipped in, so thank
Yep.
Barb, thank everybody, so.
I think you've grown splendidly into this new role.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
We have nothing from the Department of Public Works. We have no consideration items. We have no administrator's report. No attorney's report. We'll move on to the mayor's report. I just have a couple quick updates. I will touch on the Save-A-Lot issue. Again, private businesses within the city, there's no rule that they have to let the city know when they're going to close up shop. We had no idea. I had no idea until New Year's Eve, the very last minute they were going to close up, that they were closing. I was made aware because I was in the store next door. So I know some people were surprised, me as well. They closed up, and I know the dog store has been closed up for a couple weeks also. There may be some future stuff coming in. There were some plans possibly being made. I'm not going to expound on that. But there may be some future plans for the plaza. I hope that may be good. So I would just urge the public to hold on. Let's see what happens. There may be some stuff coming. I'm working on some stuff. We are working on some stuff to bring some businesses here. I was on some phone calls today, so we're gonna keep working on this, and we'll see what happens. So don't get discouraged. All right, we're gonna keep working on this. And the other thing is we are still trying to work through the guidelines and get some paperwork from the Rotary, from the grant requirements that we were given last month for the park, for Mercury Park. So I'm hoping that we can, now that we've got through the holidays and everybody's been off, that we can get back to work and get those paperwork and requirements to us from the Rotary. So and we'll know exactly what the requirements are. All right. So with that, we move on to the old business. Mr. Slavin, do you have any old business?
I'm not sure if it's old business or not, but I just wanted to say how humbled I am that you all picked me for this job, particularly since I thought there was a lot of very qualified candidates in competition. As I've told many of you already, I don't know anything about city government. It's never been my specialty. I'm going to try and learn as quickly as possible. I've already met with several of the officials to try to be educated, and I appreciate their time. I hope to speak with most of the other people. I'm going to be asking a lot of questions why. I'm sure that most of the time there are going to be good answers. I do come in with an outsider's perspective, which means that sometimes things will strike me as sort of odd, and sometimes there's a good reason for the way we've been doing things, and sometimes it's just, well, that's the way we've always done it. And so I do have both the disadvantage of not knowing what's going on, but the advantage of having an outsider's perspective to see, gee, does that still make sense?
Well, over the past 2 years, we've tried to change that view of this is just the way we've always done that. And I think that's why we've got a lot of new different opinions on it. We're trying to change the diversity of looking at things through different perspectives. So I appreciate having you here. So, Mr. Crampton, any old business? Okay, Mrs. Griswack.
No.
I will actually just follow up briefly on what Mr. Slavin said, is that he is right that everybody who applied, I dare say was actually very qualified, and I was quite thoroughly impressed. And I was even more impressed after we interviewed each of them. So I do hope that we see all of them again in some capacity or other.
Okay, Mr. Johnson, any old business? On to new business, Mr. Slavin, any new business? Mr. Crampton?
No, sir.
Mr. Merker? Mrs. Griswack?
I just had a quick question now that we have a full council. I was just curious if anyone is interested, council members, I guess excluding Councilman Crampton and Mayor Cox, if you were interested in matching the profile pictures that we have online that are they were taken several years ago. Right now, there's currently no pictures of the new council members up. There was a gentleman that offered to come in and do them for free several years ago. I could reach back out to him, but I had a feeling that he would probably charge a fee for that. And I just wasn't sure if there was any interest. If you wanted pictures, I could reach out to him, or we could reach out to a different vendor or whatever. I just wasn't sure if that was something that interested you.
I actually could set it up and do the pictures myself for us.
Oh,
I
okay.
have the equipment. I do it.
Okay.
So
Okay.
if they want it.
Whatever you guys want.
Okay.
Well, supposedly there was a decent picture taken of me for my swearing in,
Well, yeah.
and I do not relish trying to replace that because that would involve me putting a suit on again.
I think Jody has it, so.
Yes.
I think my wife has it.
That
Yeah,
picture?
yeah. We can get it to you, but
Okay.
Yeah, she has the picture.
yeah, and yours too, but,
That was it for me.
okay. Any new business, Mr. Johnson, any new business?
No, sir.
Okay, well, with that, I would ask for an adjournment then.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Meeting is adjourned.
We have to take a vote.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Robertson,
Yes.
Slavin,
Yes.
Cox,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Merker,
Yes.
Griswold,
Yes.
Crampton.
Yes. Meeting is adjourned.